And you're watching Sporting Icons.
So the former IBF World Heavyweight Champion Charles Martin is eyeing a rematch with Anthony Joshua. Of course, he's under the guidance of now former trainer of Andy Ruiz Jr. in Manny Robles. Now, he's going to be taking on Gerald Washington on the Wilder Fury undercard next weekend. And he believes that a win over him will then push him up the rankings and ultimately become a mandatory for Anthony Joshua and get that rematch. And this is what Charles Martin had to say. It's great to be back on the big stage. Wilder vs Fury 2 is the biggest heavyweight fight in a long time. It's great to be on the pay-per-view. February 22nd will get me a step closer to my goal of becoming two-time heavyweight champion. Gerald Washington is standing in my way, so it's my job to go right through him toward my ultimate goal to face Anthony Joshua again. Charles Martin's statement. Now, Charles Martin, of course, famously won the belt and against Glasgow when Glasgow did he twist his knee or his ankle or something like that. And in his first defense, he went with Anthony Joshua. And me and many people at the time were saying, but maybe he should be fighting Wilder for like a unification or something like that, right? But either way, that's how it worked out. Anthony Joshua, he put an absolute beat down on Charles Martin after Charles Martin gave it the I walk this earth like a god and all that kind of stuff. And ultimately he just sat on his backside in round number 2 and stayed there. Okay, so is that a fight that people want to watch again? Not really, I don't think. But listen, Charles Martin is much better than what people think. People only really remember Charles Martin for that one fight. But maybe you haven't seen him take on Adam Kownacki and a few other fighters. Charles Martin is actually a very good fighter. But I don't think that him versus Anthony Joshua is a fight that the fans will be clambering to see. I really don't. For me, I think that if he can somehow manage to get himself in a position where he becomes a mandatory, listen, Joshua's going to have to rematch him then in that situation. But I think that as a fan point of view, no. The only way that fans will go, actually, you know what, that would be an interesting fight, is if Charles Martin does something pretty spectacular between now and then and take on a couple of the top names and do a real number on them. So people will go, okay then, so that was Charles Martin then, this is Charles Martin now. This is a far improved Charles Martin, of course, under the guidance of Manny Robles, who, of course, guided Andy Ruiz Jr. to victory over Joshua in New York a little while ago. But ultimately ended up losing to Joshua in the rematch. Now, as I said before, is this a fight that people want to see? Do people really want to hear about Charles Martin rematching Joshua? Listen, it makes for good talking points, but ultimately I'd say no. I think Charles Martin, he does need to take on some of the top guys. But is he going to take on the top guys and beat them? I don't know. I mean, he could be carefully navigated. I mean, he is a PBC fighter. So, to be honest with you, I'm surprised him and Wilder never ever got it on. They had the opportunity for a unification, but they didn't want to do it. Well, I say they didn't want to do it. It was actually Wilder he didn't want to do it. And that's the fact of it. He used a mandatory situation as an excuse to duck Charles Martin. That's the truth of it. But anyway, that is what it is. We'll have to wait and see what Charles Martin does against Gerald Washington. That's not really a fight I don't think people are too interested in, but I think it's a fight where most people will probably look at that and go, well, both these guys are pretty much on the same level. So it'd be interesting. But for me, I think Charles Martin will beat Gerald Washington. I don't think Gerald Washington's all that, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's what's going on. Article in the description box. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.